Come on.
This is
Do
embarrassing, dude.
Why?
Don't
mention it. Don't even mention it.
Learning to shave from my little brother.
I have a personal favorite called the Venice or Venus. And it's because, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
We cannot use...
Razors
use
are
that to shave for-
unisex objects
dude,
that
I can't
remove
believe this
hair.
is being
That's all they
filmed.
are. Color is just simply
No,
the
that's
array.
the girl razor.
It's purple.
We're shaving for our mustaches, and this
Purple's
is the girl
in the
razor.
rainbow. Purple's on your hat. Doesn't matter. What is it? It's just takes hair
Let's
off.
do this. Come on.
Okay. Okay,
On
what's your
my-
face?
here, on
I
my-
start on the sides. No, you gotta shave the whole thing, dude.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you got a lot there, pal.
I never, I haven't.
Okay, okay.
Come on,
Dude,
now.
you're gonna
Shave my
cheek beard.
cheekbones, bro.
No, you don't shave your cheekbones because then it grows out stronger and like more. You have like little.
It's just so. Learning to shave.
This one girl used to call me patches. 'Cause little patches of hair, kind of missing.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm getting the hang of it, man.
Okay.
Oh, damn it, that
Leave
over
this
here.
on too long, it'll start to burn your face right off. So you want to act on it.
You made me lube up before I'm even ready to shave. You only have one shaver.
I want you to experience all sides of this thing.
Jared and I have always been best friends, and we've always been a team to be reckoned with.
Seth was always my role model.
We really understand and think a lot about each other.
And from a really young age, we kind of very big influence with one another.
I'm always kind of observing how he is, and he's observing how I am, and we can tell each other things just by looks. And, probably the way a lot of close brothers are.
I really feel like we're meant to partner together our whole life. We've just always been best friends, and we just really respect each other.
We always were just comfortable being ourselves because we understood one another, and that actually acted like a magnet and a light to a lot of people. We just always let kind of people be themselves. There's always an understanding within our group of friends, you have permission to be you, to be the best you that you can be. Those would be values that we would maintain for a long part of our lives up to now. And that would be foundational for ministry in the future. Tonight is there's a few leaders are gonna get together in Redlands, and then also just the main part of it is just how do we pastor the city of Redlands and affect the whole city. We don't want to think that the city is ours by possession in the domineering sense. We want to think of it as ours as caring for it, nurturing it, protecting it, loving it, sharing it, support. So just that reinforcement, just the word fortify. I want to fortify the city.
So here's two things that we want to do tonight, real simple. And it's this. First thing is we want to honor those and empower them and encourage those that are already functioning as kingdom agents in this city. There are people here that are already functioning in great things, doing awesome things. And so we want to just honor you tonight because you know what? Honor is the soil that God uses to empower people.
All right, can you guys hear me? Cool. All right. Well, this is my brother Jared, and my name is Seth.
Brothers!
Yeah. And just a quick little thing about us. We think we're pretty sure that we're the two that Jesus sent out. We've just I was out first, and then he came out 2 years later. But since then we've been together, and Mike's laughing at us. But really, we have a really good bond together, and we like to just live life with each other and with people. Yeah. And that's kind of what Monday nights is about too. It's just it's a big family. I think we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary in June. It was just something we started out in Sylvan Park over there by the school, by University of Redlands, and it was just something that was planted on our hearts that we wanted to see a community of people that were outside the four walls, and we hear that a lot, but it really just was accepting of people for where they are and who they are, you know? And we just want to invite people to come live life with us and share life with us, and to not try to fix anyone, to not try to change anyone, you know, to just listen, like it says in James, to be quick to hear and slow to speak, you know?
If there's anything that we strive for as a community, it's making the manifest presence of God and love so tangible that when you walk in the room, just kind of go weak at the knees, you know, get a little Twitter-pated inside, and just feel Jesus. I don't know, I was just thinking about Mondays, and I was thinking about what makes it so special, and my mind was just kind of racing, but something interesting, we were just out over by Augie's coffee shop, like about an hour ago, or before this started, and I ran into this kid, and I started talking to him. I was like, hey man, how's it going? And started just talking about Jesus a little bit, and he said, oh yeah man, I've been like totally searching out this Jesus thing recently, and I was like, oh, cool, you know what I mean? Like, tell me about that. And he's like, well, I went to this place, it was on a Monday night, and I don't really know about Jesus, but love was in the room. It was so powerful, you know what I mean? And I was like, dude, like, right on. Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, yeah, there was like, they meet at the Nazarene building, and I was like, oh, cool, dude, maybe I'll check it out. You know, I was like, cool.
We thought it would be a cool thing to do a movie night as a family. So we have a projector. We're going to project it onto that wall.
This is my comfort food.
Olives.
Pickles and imitation crab. This is olives? Anybody? Olives?
Shut up, let's go.
And Monday nights we thrive so hard to make an atmosphere that's really conducive for all to teach and all to contribute so that all may learn. So each voice is valued and recognized.
It's like so much more than being a meeting or a service or a time. It's like life. Like this is the life that we're living. This is the Jesus that we love and that we're serving, that we're like going at this life with. People have come, like literally have said, I have no idea what's going on here. Like I've never stepped foot in any of these church things, but I feel really loved here.
I just love how everybody's just a family. Like there's no place I've ever been where I felt as welcome and accepted as I have here. You come here and it's not a, oh, who's that person or whatever. It's you're here and people love you anyway, no matter what.
I think being together is really important in a way that's like not over spiritual, because I think we get over spiritualized sometimes. It's heated, like hanging out with Jesus and like, you know, praying with each other. And so it's really cool to just relax and be together.
Matt, what's going on here, dude?
We're having a little Valentine's Day celebration.
Celebrate. Today is the day of love. Live life to love.
It is the day of love. We're watching Hitch in there. It's pretty romantic stuff, you know.
Yeah. It's not Singles Awareness Day. It's a day of love for all people that either do or don't have relationships.
Jesus is my Valentine.
Jesus is my Valentine.
Yeah, for today and every year since this day.
We should market that shirt, bro. Sell it in a Christian bookstore.
Yeah.
Make money off God.
You look super nice. I came from, I was like thinking my room today, and I was like, there's my yarmulke.
When I started talking about Monday night, you know, I really had a lot of people speaking out against me.
I remember having a lot of conversations with Seth that was like actually probably quite frustrating at the time.
Coming out of being a Bible study together, and I was reading these books and I was studying so much about what the church was and what it was really supposed to be, and some of the problems with the church and some of the cool things that we could do to get back to what Jesus really wanted, to being a functional family where we can love people and listen to people and not have to change people and all these things, empowering people.
And I wanted to see the same kind of change that he wanted, but I guess the means of getting there were drastically different. And I always felt like he kind of was pushing the envelope.
Church isn't supposed to be this large thing, you know? It's supposed to be a community of people meeting in smaller groups around the city, and that's the church. The church is the city, the people that believe in Jesus within the city, not a big building, down the corner, your local church, as they say.
I argue quite a bit with him, I think, because it was like pretty drastically different than anything I had been taught or anything I was used to. There's probably like 5 of us at the beginning, 5 or 6. Pretty quickly, it began to grow, like pretty steadily from that point.
I really felt very, very strongly that this could be a church.
All these things are kind of in the beginning, and we didn't really know how Monday nights were going to unfold, like what was going to go on, if people were going to like join the banner and like take this and keep going, or if it was kind of just going to be something that was like a cool idea, backed with a lot of passion, but who knew if people would like want to be on board.
So I was just very excited though, because I felt like there was something that God was really putting on my heart, and I was reading these books, and I was just applying what I was learning every Monday night. I would just show up and I'd be like, all right, let's step into this. And so it just started going.
It was like the beginning of March, and that was 2010. And when I first walked in, I was just like, I walked into this like pool hall, and I was like, oh cool, hey, this is a cool spot. And so all of a sudden we were all sitting all together, and I was introduced, and I was cheered by like 40 people, I think. And I guess we have this tradition that when somebody comes in new, we introduce them. And whoa, you have no clue what that introduction feels like. It's just the best feeling you can ever get. Like, we cheer people, we honor them, we cherish them, we love them. It's just so awesome, just wonderful to leave and not want to actually leave. And I stood out there and I'm like, we're going back in. At an early age, I dealt with I dealt with sexual abuse, and then I experienced and experimented with homosexuality. That also brought on my drinking issue, and I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. Those things, when I came to Monday nights, I had still dealt with. I had a lot of issues with trusting. I had a lot of issues with alcohol. I don't know, Jesus put something on my heart. My emotions came to the surface, and one night I had been really inebriated, and I was really upset about being fake, because I strove to be not fake. I wanted to be real. I wanted to love people how Jesus wanted to love everybody, and I loved people, but people didn't love me back. So I said, this is a test. This is it, Lord. If you want me to be here, I'm gonna just be honest. And one night when I was really drunk, I had picked up my cell phone and I texted probably 30 people. And I told them, hey, I have issues. I don't know if you guys are accepting of this, but if you love me like I think you do, I put all my trust in you guys. And I was blessed by the love that I was given, and by the honest return of the texts and people calling me right away saying, hey, we love you, it's okay, It really made me a different person. It changed who I am today. Just the love that I got and just the acceptance I got was more than enough for me to realize this is Christianity at its best. If it says that Jesus wants you to love because he loves everybody regardless of who and how and where and what you are, then this is it. This is where the place is at for me. I grew up in a church and I could never be myself. I actually left the church because I felt not wanted and needed. When I met the Monday Night Crew, I want to say, it just brought a whole new lifestyle to me. Before I used to think I'm going to hell. I didn't feel like I can connect with Christian people, even though I was Christian. I felt like I was a heathen or just a sinner, period. We love each other to a point where it's not a concern to where, hey, this is wrong with you and you need to change yourself. It's more like, hey, we accept you and we love you for who you are, because that's what Jesus would do. The friendships, the bonds that you build with these people, and me, I think I should say now, they're almost, I feel like they're lifelong. Yeah. My life has changed because I've just been real, and like I've been given the right to be real. The Lord is really like in this circle of people to where He is very present in all of us.
So yeah, I was definitely raised in a very conservative Christian household where we were homeschooled and we watched PG movies and cartoons, what the world would probably call sheltered. But yeah, we had a level of exposure as well that was appropriate, I think. I was raised in a Baptist church for 4 years. That was 4 years of my life when I was probably between the ages of like 2 to 6. And then after that, we went to community church for like 4 years. I really did believe in the deepest parts of my heart that my purpose in this world and in this life was to convert other people from a place called hell to a place called heaven. And I felt like that was like my ultimate purpose in life. And so that's all I kind of really focused on. That's all I really did. It turns out that that's not the ultimate purpose of life. The ultimate purpose of life is to walk in fellowship with Jesus and to just love Him and receive His love. And then when I relate to people about church culture, it comes from a big, huge place in my heart, because actually what ended up happening to me when I was a young kid is I began to express symptoms of like OCD, to where I would have to tell everyone I ever met that Jesus loved them. I'd have to pass out a tract to every single person. I had to tell everyone about Jesus, and it was all verbalized, and it was always coming though from really more of a broken place in my heart that said I need to do this because it's like required of me. It didn't actually come from a passion-filled place. One night, my understanding of sin was bad. God hated sin, and in the Old Testament they would throw ash on their head in symbol of just like submission to the Lord, you know what I mean? And so one night I was like feeling bad or whatever about sin or something. I was like 11 years old, and I went outside and I grabbed dirt in my hand and I just like put it all over my hair, because it was the closest thing like I knew of like ash, and I just kind of rubbed it around my head and just said like a little prayer. And it was cold outside, and I just had dirt like all over my hair. And that like, it was the epitome of what it means to live by like a religious like spirit with there's like no life. I just say that as like a testimony of like, when I talk about the church, I don't talk about it like I haven't been a part of it or I don't know about it, and I don't talk about it like I'm just upset about this. It's actually something that like I felt in the deepest part of who I am. I felt the pain of what that looks like. I felt the pain of what it means to follow a book and not follow a God that loves me.
Don't mind the mustache either. You guys caught us in the middle of March, and we subscribed to the March Madness Mustache Challenge, soon to become the March Madness Mustache Association. And so we grow mustaches for the whole month of March and are proud of our masculinity. It's kind of goofy but fun. I grew up and just with the knowledge like God hates divorce, you know, and that can't happen. And if you're a good Christian, you won't get divorced. And you know, even my parents taught me this. And then they go ahead and divorce, and as that kind of like shook me a little bit, I got kind of really angry. So I stopped going to church for a while. But you know, it was also kind of an interesting time in my life and something that I really enjoyed, because I was part of this crew of fun-loving dudes called the Randomnators. We would do these crazy things, you know, like throw a cactus into each other or pierce my brother's nipple. If you grow up in that system of religion and you start questioning things, people don't like that. And so you have this kind of like fear, like, okay, don't question, just try to make the best of it. In my Randomnator days, when I would do these random and crazy things, I wanted to show that I wasn't afraid of much. And I wanted to see what I wasn't afraid of. So I had a fear of heights, I would climb. I had a fear of needles, I would stab. I had a fear of cactus getting thrown in me, I let people throw cactus in me. I had a fear of, I'm not sure how this is gonna feel after somebody whips me or punches me or kicks me, but I'm gonna let them do it to see how it, to overcome this fear. And that allowed me, as crazy as it was, and, as probably, some wrong psychology there, it allowed me to ask questions on a larger scale years down the road. Most of society says I was crazy, and most people, although they laughed at it sometimes, were like, you're just nuts, and you're a really broken kid, and you need a lot of help. I knew my father, I knew his background, heavy drugs and alcohol and sex with lots of women. Like, it didn't lead him anywhere, and I had that in the back of my head, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that, But I had to have a way to express myself, and just see what I was capable of.
Do your demonstration. Stand up.
Yeah, demonstrate.
For you. Remember the thorn bush? It won't be as bad as that one.
Oh, yeah. But you gotta at least
I'll get you.
give it to me. Don't break my ribs.
No.
Oh!
How did that feel?
It's disgusting.
Look at her face.
That is disgusting.
Hey.
Oh my God, look at that.
A little bit of the line.
See, we love each other, dude.
We do love
You
each
don't
other.
get that kind of stuff.
You don't get that
every
stuff
day.
every day.
Seth was, you were the sunshine, right?
Oh, God.
Jared was the spice. We needed a little spice and we got Jared. He was up on everything. Had like 5 black eyes by the time he was 2. I couldn't contain that kid. Everybody used to tell me, well, you don't know what even having like a child is. When I had Seth, oh, you don't even know what a real boy is like. Your son's too good, he's too easy, he's too kind. He interpreted. Jared didn't learn to speak till he was older. About 7, I think. And then the 2 of you together were just really fun.
Seth, roly-polies!
Oh, dude.
Look at those big
What
white
are all
ones.
those things in there, though?
Wow, they're little,
little of these
guys. They're babies.
No,
Baby
get the spray.
pinchers.
Go
Those
get the spray,
termites?
Seth. Yeah, I think they're termites. Go get the spray, would you?
You know what's awesome, dude? We get to do this the rest of our life.
What are you talking about?
Just like, prayer nights and Mondays and like the whole adventure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like real exciting.
The adventure of life.
Oh, you brought the whole crew? What's up,
dude?
guys?
Dude, trip out. They were just talking with Dad about you and I and our relationship.
Well, welcome to the mountain house. Filled with many memories. Right there, I beat up Seth many years ago. I dug my knees into your back. Remember that one?
We discussed that.
Dude, you gotta be an honorary member of the March Madness Mustache Challenge.
Yeah.
Already gotta go.
They're always trying to get me to shave my mustache.
No, dude, no, don't
This
shave.
time we want you to keep
just,
it.
we want just you to come to the party.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Okay, barbecue time.
Yeah, we never got along.
Barbecue time, dude.
Seth was 2 years older than Jared. Taylor didn't come along till 3 years after Jared. Get the 2 of them together, they'd get up early. We always get up early. They'd be arm in arm watching cartoons. Just buds. Total buds. Have always been. I pray to God they die like that. Buds. 5 and 7, we climbed Mount Baldy. Later in their teens, we did Yosemite, Half Dome.
To be honest with you, I never really wanted kids because I didn't want to bring kids into this all messed up world. But you get married and settle down, and those values change. And then when this guy comes, it totally changed my life radically. Then to throw another brother on it, I have my 2 best friends. That's probably what makes the divorce, to split up the family, the hardest. There's almost a division between the fundamental church in America and what you guys are trying to do. You're just in a different place, and not everybody's where you're at, and you can't expect everybody to be where you're at. My concern was don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, people need a foundation, they need a fundamental, they need a start.
I think it's a good thing. as with all churches, it's a place for people to come that are broken, to feel a part of something, to be loved. It's a process of healing. One concern I do have is just, but I've seen it grow. I mean, I've seen it change. Initially, it felt like you guys were kind of, and rightfully so, from your own experience, closed to input from others or church people, but I have seen you grow, because what I have seen is you've realized, at least maybe this is just my perception, but you've realized that it's really not that easy to gather a group of people and not have some sort of systematic, or you have to ask yourself, how are we going to deal with these kinds of situations? Where initially it was just kind of, let's all get together and love each other, which it is about that. That is what it's about. But then stuff comes up. And you do have to decide, how am I going to deal with that? Just like any family. Stuff comes up. What do? You discipline? Do you teach? Do you coach? Do you train? Do you correct? And I have seen you guys grow in that. And it seems like you have opened yourselves to some of the people that God has put in your lives that are maybe of a different generation or older. And you take in their counsel, not necessarily that you have to do what they say, but you listen to them and you weigh it. And I think that, if I had it, those were concerns of mine. But about God, I love your challenging of me. You guys challenge me to think outside of my box and to think more differently. And I actually have become more liberal, don't you think?
There's a lot of homeless people out there that make homeless people look really bad.
Right.
And there's a lot of misgivings about homelessness. After you're homeless for a while, no matter how much you dislike or like it, you just get used to it, If you were healthy-minded before you got on the street, there's a lot of stuff out here that people would not even think of or hear or even read in the paper that happened out here, A homeless person is not received really at all. People just walk past you like you're not even there, you don't even exist.
I never expected to have the wedding that I had. Oh my God, I never expected it to be like it was.
Yeah.
And I was just like overwhelmed with joy.
I pulled Jared to the side just because I look at him as, say, a church elder, so to speak. And I wanted him to be able to officiate it and turn out to be his first one.
As members of Barbara's beloved family, you may all answer the following question with a resounding I do. Here's the question. Who gives this woman, Barbara, to be married this day of December 20th, 2010 to Mr. Scott Smith?
I do. To me, this isn't just a get-together of friends or getting together to fellowship. This is family to us,
I'm looking around at all these people right now thinking, wow, look at all these beautiful people. They just come together to, you can just see God in all of them, Jesus is there, and I would like to have the glow that you guys have, and one day I will have it. It's coming slowly but surely. Being homeless is not it's not a good thing. And we're working on things, and our dreams are to get our home, and Scott can get a job and get off probation, and we can just have a good life like everybody else. I've never had nobody do the things that you guys do for us, as far as, just making us feel welcome, making us feel like we're not just a piece of dirt on the ground, and just, I don't know, I feel special when I'm around you guys. I do, I really do. And that's coming from the bottom of my heart.
I really just hope that somebody sees this and somebody says to themselves, wow, that gives me some hope that these young college students are wanting to see a difference in Christianity, especially in America. I intend to use my life that's here on this earth to seek a completely different idea of Christianity and church until I die.